You're listening to The Standard Podcast. Eye-opening for your ears.
สวัสดีค่ะโบสาวิตรีนะคะ This is We Need To Talk Podcast Talk Show ภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับคนไทยที่ใช้ภาษาอังกฤษค่ะ Hi you guys welcome to our show and thank you so much for listening ตามธรรมเนียมของ We Need To Talk โบจะชวน guest ของเราคุย3ประเด็นนะคะถ้าเป็นพี่ซินดี้เนี่ยโบว่าเรื่องแรกที่ต้องชวนคุยแน่นอนเลยคือ Asia's Next Top Model เพราะมันเป็นรายการระดับโลกมากๆพี่ซินดี้เป็นโฮสต์ที่ทั้งสวยทั้งเก่งทั้งฉลาดและตลกเป็นความภูมิใจของคนไทยมากๆเลยนะคะโบจะชวนพี่ซินดี้คุยเรื่องนี้แบบละเอียดเลยค่ะเรื่องที่2ล่าสุดโบไปเจอบล็อก cindysirinya.com ค่ะพี่ซินดี้เขียนเรื่องเกี่ยวกับครอบครัวสุขภาพความงามการเดินทางรวมทั้งมีข้อมูลดีๆและมุมมองดีๆเยอะมากเลยนะคะเขียนเป็น2ภาษาด้วยค่ะทำไมพี่ซินดี้เปิดบล็อกนี้ขึ้นมาและคำถามที่สำคัญกว่านั้นงานยุ่งขนาดนี้เอาเวลาไหนไปเขียนกับพี่เดี๋ยวโบถามมาให้นะคะและเรื่องสุดท้ายคุณผู้ฟังทราบไหมคะพี่ซินดี้เป็นคนที่ทำกิจกรรมการกุศลอยู่เรื่อยๆทำไมพี่เขาให้ความสำคัญกับการแบ่งปันมากเป็นพิเศษและพี่ซินดี้จะให้คำแนะนำอะไรบ้างกับพวกเราที่อยากแชร์อยากให้แต่ไม่รู้จะให้ยังไงหรือทำยังไงไม่รู้จะเริ่มตรงไหนรอฟังกันนะคะเอาล่ะค่ะตอนนี้ได้เวลาเปลี่ยนโหมดเป็นภาษาอังกฤษกันแล้วค่ะพร้อมหรือยังคะ Ladies and gentlemen, it would be my pleasure to introduce our guest for this episode of We Need to Talk podcast. She is the host of Asia's Next Top Model, one of the legendary Thailand's top models herself. She also enjoys being a mom and writing her blog. Let's meet her now. P. Cindy Bishop!สวัสดีค่ะพี่ซินดี้ Hello
Hi สวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you for being here with us today
Oh, it's my pleasure
Can I just tell you I'm totally fangirling right now Oh my god I can't believe it I am such a fan and I've watched you for our listeners out there who are younger than I guess 30 I used to watch you on Madame Mot And I wanted to be a witch because of it. It's a series.
That was my first ละคร It was actually not really a ละคร It was a sitcom for Channel 3 right after I won Miss Thailand World. It was so much fun. We had such a blast shooting it. And I'm glad that you remember.
So that's why I'm like, oh my God. When I found out I was going to interview you, I was so nervous. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And thank you so much for being here.
No, it's having a lot of fun already.
Yay. Okay, so our first section of the show is called Been There, Done That. And as we know, you are the current host for one of the biggest reality show franchises, Asia's Next Top Model.
Yes.
And it's been 2 cycles now, right?
The show is 5 cycles.
But
I've hosted the last 2. Yeah.
Right. And then the first season you hosted, Nong Tawan, who is a Thai contestant, won the title.
Yep.
Last season, there was another Thai girl, Dorothy.
Actually, there were 2 Thai girls last season.
The first one got
Heidi.
Yeah, I rooted for Dorothy.
She's on fire right now. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I saw her. She's doing a lot of stuff in Thailand too. And so my question is, in your opinion, do Thai models have advantages or disadvantages in these kind of competition?
Well, I think the record speaks for itself. Thais do really well in lots of not just modeling but also pageants. I mean, look at Namtan.
Yeah.
And this year, rooting for Maria.
Yeah, me too.
Really, it's like we keep going deeper and deeper, right, into the finals. So, I think Thai women are gorgeous. I think we definitely have what it takes. I think the only disadvantage in terms of, for example, Asia's Next Top Model, which the one had to deal with as well, is the English proficiency. Because at the end of the day, I mean, she was pretty much, that's the least amount of English that you can get away with because it is a trans-Asian show. So your English has to be of a level where people can understand you. And that's the only thing is make sure the English is up to standard.
In your opinion, in order to be successful in the competition, what do Thai models need to work on besides English?
Yeah, so okay, besides English, I think I think Thais are naturally not as I don't want to say outgoing, but you have to have a certain level of
We don't flaunt it.
Yeah. It's a reality show. People want to see your sass. They want to see, I guess, a little bit of the, can I say bitchiness?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're allowed to do whatever you want on
Well,
this podcast.
I do have a bit of a potty mouth, so don't tell me that. I could get a bit out of hand. So I think viewers want to see, the feistiness, if you don't like somebody in the house, say it and things like that, which I think Thai people in general, we're not very confrontational. We're not going to be like, hey, I didn't like the way you do that, But for reality TV, sometimes you have to play that up a little bit. Otherwise, you kind of get boring.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be boring.
Nope. Because then you get washed out.
Right, exactly.
So now that cycle 5 is over, I don't know if you'll tell us, but I'm going to ask you, who was your favorite or who were you secretly rooting for?
Okay, so I can't say that.
I knew it!
Let's say I think the girls who stood out for me for good and bad reasons, and you can draw your own conclusions. Clara was definitely very memorable, and she really kept things exciting week after week. It was fun to just kind of negotiate her crazy.
That's funny you said that because in my head I was like, she's crazy.
In the most endearing way, and she's rocking it now. Dorothy definitely was a firecracker, and she's, you know what, the thing is, all these girls, they almost don't come into their own until after the show, which is something that for the future seasons, you come into your own on the show, because all these girls leave it and they're like, oh my God, I didn't know and it's I feel like, if you could just shown that in the show, all of them would have been so much more, engaging and able to bring it. So, but that's the thing with the show is the girls learn so much about themselves, and it's like a crash course. I mean, these girls, it's 13 weeks and they are exposed to everything that they could possibly be in their modeling career, and the learning curve is so steep that when they get eliminated, which all of them except one will, then they are like, maybe it ignites a fire in them, and then they're like, I'm gonna prove it, I'm gonna bring it.
Yeah.
Like, too late.
And then maybe after they see themselves on playback,
exactly,
they're like, oh man,
let me tell you something about reality shows. You are at the mercy of the editors.
Oh yeah.
And like for me, I just say what I say from the heart, and it's like so much footage, and it could just be that one word that is taken out of context but works for the story, and it's like, oh, okay. But this is what you signed up for.
And that, like you said, I've noticed on a lot of reality shows, there are certain roles or characters each contestant play. Let's say we have the bitchy one in the house, or this one is like the victim, the poor girl next door who gets bullied all the time, or we even have the ugly duckling who actually turns into a swan at the end. Were these casted on purpose?
Okay, so the girls who are casted on the show are casted because they have either strong personalities already, or they have something that's going to be exciting to the viewer. You can't just be gorgeous and not have a brain or not be able to talk. You're not going to make it on the show. Then just go be a model. These girls are already casted with their own personality, their own brand of character, which will then, they naturally show that onto the show, because you're in a situation where 24/7 there's cameras on you. We don't produce them to be a different person in any way. Like, we wouldn't take this really shy girl and be like, okay, you need to pick a fight with, that's just going to be her role anyway. Naturally, they just get heightened by the situation. Do you know what I mean? Like, the producers don't put words in these girls' mouths. They don't have a script. There's, the conditions, the stress, things that happen naturally fold out into what you see. And so they will be heightened. Yeah.
They don't provoke any drama.
No, we don't. the situation's already there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Just competing against each other.
It's gonna be it's trust me. There's a lot of drama. If you could see everything, the stuff that you see is like ยังไม่เท่า
จริงเหรอคะยังไม่เท่าของจริงใช่ไหมคะ
แต่ว่ามัน it has to make sense with the story as well. You know what I mean? Like if otherwise it's like that goes off on that tangent. This one's fighting with that one, or it's like it's 1 hour.
Yeah.
If you show everything, it's going to get confusing. There needs to be like, okay, this is the direction we're going.
Yeah. And a bunch of girls living in the same house. That's like just drama written all over
Exactly. You don't have first day one. They're already fighting over who's going to sleep where or who's been in the bathroom too long. You don't need to produce that.
Yeah. I mean, I was in AF. Academy Fantasia. It's like a singing reality show in Thailand, and that's televised 24/7.
Yeah.
And that's one of the top questions I was asked too. That if the drama was real, or is it scripted?
Right.
And of course, I'm like, no. Like the cameras are rolling 24 hours. So, and it's like you said, it's the stress, and you can't contact with anyone outside. So. You have each other, and
that being said, though, we live in an age where everything is recorded and everything is broadcast. So the girls coming on the show, they're smart. They know what's up. They're not coming like, oh, what? They know, and they will produce their own stories. They already know who they want to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that because that's what we do. And now in our digital age, your YouTube, your Instagram, you have your brand.
Yep.
They coming in with their own brand already.
So when you guys are casting, is there certain spots you have to fill? Like let's say like, okay, this person is like her character seems like she's like the bitchy type. So let's have a few more of those and then that's it, or like we need more of like the shy and timid girls.
I'm not involved in the casting process. I meet the girls when they meet me on the first episode, but I do believe that the producers have certain requirements that they want. They want someone who's super talkative. They want one that's like, oh my God, drop dead gorgeous. They want one that could maybe be the quirky, edgy kind of defy all expectations sort of thing. So yeah, there's definitely, and the amount of girls that try out for the show, there's a lot to choose from.
What about the judges on reality shows? Of course, you're going to see like the nice and like kind judges like Paula Abdul, and then you'll see someone like Simon who is very brutally honest and will tell you how it is and somewhat being viewed as being mean.
Yeah.
Of course your show has you sigh. Is he like that in real life, or how is he in real life?
He's very energetic and he's been around. Like he's at the top of his game. He's shooting supermodels all over the world. He knows what he's talking about. So his criticisms and critiques for the girls are spot on. Sometimes they can be a little bit tough to hear, but he would be like the Simon, you know, like this is, look, you're signed up for this. This is what you need to hear. I guess mine would be more of a tiger mom. Like I'm coming from that place of, you know, but love and support, but you know, if you play up, I'm gonna have to knock you down a couple notches too as well. So, and then we've got guest judges every episode that come in. Either it's a sponsor that are looking for a specific type for that campaign. And there's model mentor, like Kara was super like big sister to the girls and coaching them. So we have, every panel is different, but there's definitely, you know, the girls get a well-rounded feedback of their performance. And sometimes when the first episodes where there's 13 girls, what you see on camera is like one sentence from this person, one soundbite from that person. But the girls are standing there for a long time. We're actually giving them a lot of feedback that then they can go and progress.
No wonder you said it's a crash course, because they're learning so much from this experience. What is the most important role for you as the host?
For me, I'm pretty much the หัวหน้าเรือหัวเรือ of the show. So I would be the main person setting up what's going on. This is what's happening, the expectations of the girls. Some of the challenges I'm there, but not all of them. I'll be there for the big ones or the big photo shoots. And I then lead the panel. So Yusa is always there with me and the model mentor, Kara, and then each of the guest judges. I'm basically the one that's keeping everything together.
And I've watched the show, and I'm not saying this to kiss your ass because you're on our show, but I have a group of friends who watch it and then will remind each other. It's like, it's a Wednesday, hurry! It's like it's up, like go watch, and no spoiler. But I've always told my friends that I think you're the perfect host for the show.
Thank you.
Because I feel like you have this aura. มีองค์แม่ค่ะ like I don't know how to describe it, but I quote, like I actually said this to my friend. You have this Tyra aura, and I'm not saying, I mean, no two people are alike, and you're two different people, and I'm not comparing you to her or anything like that, but I'm saying you are you, like you just have this like supermodel aura about you, and you control the whole show, and I think it made the show better.
Oh, thank you so much.
With you being the host. And I'm a fan. I'm
thank you.
totally a fangirl. Can you tell? So what do you think you yourself could do better as a host for the next cycle?
You know what? Each cycle is completely different. The season 4 and season 5, we had completely different production. So when you have a new production, you have to relearn basically how everything's done. So for me, cycle 5 was like a new cycle. If all goes well and season 6 will be the same. So in that area, I'm not going to have to relearn how to work with everyone again. Then my efforts and my consciousness will be definitely much more into the feedback. I want to be able to see how I can inspire the girls even more. It's limited with how I'm able to do that on the show. But we're always exploring ways of how I can, get to them a little bit more. Keep in mind that my role is to not be the model mentor. I'm supposed to be, in a ways, detached and separated, which for me is a little bit hard because I want to get in there and work with them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can't. I have to be like, no, I'm back here, So that's always a little bit of a struggle for me. But, we work it out as we go. So I don't know. I don't have any expectations. I'm just going to have to go in there and see.
Have you guys started?
We're in talks.
What can we expect from cycle 6?
I don't know.
Okay.
No idea.
We'll just have to stay tuned and find out.
I know.
What we need to talk about next is that I have visited your blog at cindysrinya.com and I love it.
Yay.
It's so inspiring, and I've read some articles, and I even sent it to my friend and said, "Oh my God, I want to be this kind of a mother, and if I have a daughter, I would teach her these 10 things." And we'll talk about that a little later. But how did this blog start? What inspired you, or what clicked and said, "I'm gonna start writing blogs"?
Yeah, I have all this free time.
Yeah, seriously, right?
I think I'm at that point in my life where I want to share. I mean, I get a lot of questions on Facebook, on my Instagram. People are always like, how to do this, how to be like you. I'm like, oh, you don't want to be like me. But it's, I've put in the years, I've got the experience, and I want to be able to share. And if people are asking me questions, it's like, well, maybe I should, put that in some sort of format that's appealing and people can go and see because there's a lot of me that I feel like I don't have a chance to share. Everyone sees me as model, but I'm also an artist. I'm a mother. I love to travel. I'm kind of funny. There's all these other parts where it's like, well, I'm not going to find somebody to give me that platform. I'll make it myself. So I started this blog, and I've also recently started a YouTube channel, and it's just, it's taking a lot of time and effort, but it's a lot of fun at the same time.
What's your channel? Tell
My
our
YouTube
listeners.
is Cindy Surinya Bishop. It's very boring, but
Go subscribe.
please subscribe. And I do it in Thai and English. So if I, shoot it in English, I take the time to write all the subtitles in Thai and vice versa, because what I find is I actually was like having a crisis before I did it. I'm like, I went on my Instagram live and I'm like, I don't know what language to speak. And most of the comments from Thai people were like, do it in English and put Thai subtitles because we want to learn. And I was like, okay. So it depends on the content. Most of it is in English, but there's going to be Thai subtitles. So if people can get a few words or from my YouTube would be great too.
Yay. So go subscribe to her, you guys. So back to your blog. It's bilingual,
Yeah.
right? Do you do the translating yourself too?
Yes, and there's probably like a ton of typos. Actually, when I first started, it was so cute. People were like, พี่ Cindy สะกดฝรั่งผิดนะคะ แล้วก็เข้าไป because what I do is I type in English, but then I read it and อัดเสียงใน iPhone, right? And then I just put it on, and then I try and hopefully I need to hire someone to like help me with that. I'm such a control freak. That's my problem. I don't like to delegate, and
Yeah,
I need to ask for help.
It all seems so time consuming. And
that's why I haven't posted in like a month. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have more content. We're going to the Maldives on Friday.
Yay. Oh, have fun. How do you find time to manage everything in your life? Like you're a mother, you're shooting this show, not even in Thailand. You show this reality show is being shoot abroad.
Yeah.
And you're writing a blog, you're doing your
Right.
YouTube channel, and
I don't know.
you act, you're an actress. Like how do you manage your time?
Obviously, my time is not, I don't shoot Asia's Next the whole year.
Right.
That's 2 months, right? And for those 2 months, that's all I'm doing. The rest of the year, I can kind of block out chunks of time where I'm like, okay, I'm going to really just work on, that's why the blog happened, was I had like 3 months where I'm like, okay. And I, from scratch, Squarespace, like, oh, I'm gonna, like, คือต้องสอนตัวเองก่อน I want to know how to do it myself. So that was really proud of myself for that. But you learn to prioritize. Obviously, the kids come first. They're like number one, right? So everything else is after the kids are taken care of. I will do the school run in the morning. My husband and I tag team. All right, who's doing what today? 3:00, you got the kids. All right, I'm taking Aiden. So that's our daily life. And then if I have work, if I have an event, then that's, so it's no one day is the same. But it takes a lot of planning. But if we've got a good team, we've got a good support. So, yeah.
And I think with your YouTube channel, your fans and people are going to get to see a day in your life or
that's like the first one I put on was a day in my life, like follow me, and they're like, oh my god, you do all this stuff. I'm like, kind of.
Like we'll get to know you at a personal level, like you said, like the Cindy Surinya that we don't really see in the media.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah, and we totally appreciate that. So on one particular article that I mentioned earlier was 10 things I tell my daughter. What prompted you to write this?
Honestly, it was just, I was trying to think of stuff. So I have different categories on the blog. I've got style, I've got wellness, and one of them is family. I think the two ones that I really feel the most is family and travel. So, I don't know. I was just thinking like, okay, what is it something that people would relate to? And I was just looking at pictures of Layla one day, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with her. Oh my gosh, what's the future? Oh my God. And I just was like, you know what? This is stuff I really tell her on a daily basis, And I just literally, once you have an idea that is authentic and speaks from the heart, it was so easy to write. I was like, bam, done in like a couple hours. And that's the one that people seem to respond the most to, which I was like, okay, that's, at least I know, all right, that's probably the direction I will keep going as well. And it's funny though, I read it to her, or I let Layla read it. And one of them was like, I'm always listening. And the very next morning, I was like busy doing something. And she's like, Mommy. I'm like, hold on. Mommy, you said on your blog that you are always listening. I'm like, why'd I let her read that? Like to this day, she's like, Mommy. I'm like, yeah.
It's all.
I'm like, God, these kids are too smart.
And she's what? She's 10.
She's 7.
So she's 7, and she's already. No wonder.
Yeah,
that's right. You even said on your blog that when people ask me how old my daughter Layla is, I like to joke and say. I like to joke that she is 7 going on 17. My mother used to say the same thing about me. So I see 3 generations of women here. And I can get a feeling that all 3 of you are very close. Can you tell us a little bit about your mom and your daughter?
Oh, my mom's my best friend. I mean, I'm an only child, and we were a very small family, just me, my dad, and my mom. And my dad passed actually the year Layla was born. So, but my mom and I, we've just been really close our whole life. Like she's just like. She's that cool mom. She's 75. She's still wearing hot pants. She makes jams and pickles, selling at farmers markets. Like, I'm like,
really?
So yada.
She is a cool mom.
And she keeps active. She likes, she's got her girl gang in Pattaya and things like that. So, and she's always up with Layla, and she's got such a really special relationship with Layla. They've got their own things, they like to read together, and she likes, so it's a very special bond between her and Layla, and then the 3 of us as well. So, yeah.
Aw. So can you tell us the 10 things? Can you list them out? The 10 things that you would tell your daughter. Oh, I have it here if you want to.
Okay.
Hold on.
So, the first is you're beautiful inside and out. There was a time where Layla was around 3 or 4, and everywhere we'd go, people would say, "Oy, nalag, soy, nalag," and I could see that she was like, "What?" Most kids get that anyway, but we have it to another scale because she's exposed to a lot more. So I was always very careful to make sure she knows what's more important, to be beautiful on the inside or outside. So I think she gets it. Number 2 is I love you just the way you are. And that's a big one for girls to hear, kids to hear, but especially girls, because I think firstborn kids are Layla is she's very much a perfectionist. She's like me. And she's to the point where if she doesn't do something perfect the first time, she just gives up. Sometimes in some situations, it's getting better. So I wanted her to know that it's okay to make mistakes. You don't need to be the perfect girl. And she, even now, I was talking to her about, I don't know, the word perfect. She's like, there's no such thing as perfect. It's impossible. I was like, yes, but you can do your best. She's like, "Yay." You can always talk to me. That's a big one. I think, especially in Thailand, parents need to have a really open conversation. I mean, about everything.
Yep.
Because the kids in this day and age, if they can't talk to you, they are going to go to the internet. They're going to go to their friends. And that's scary. Like, I am so scared of what I find on the internet.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, if you don't properly brace your kids, and that if something happens outside and they can't come to you and go, "Mom, what is this?" That's scary. So all the time I'm like, Layla, anything, you talk to me. I'm not going to judge. I'm here for you. Okay, number 4 is I'm listening. That's the one she got me on. Mommy, you're not listening. But listening in here meaning, it goes with you can always talk to me. Like, and that's a big one. I think I struggle with sometimes when I'm running around doing stuff. A lot of parents, you've got all these things and your kid wants to tell you. It can be something as trivial. Well, it's not trivial to them. It's, "Mommy, I worked hard in school and I got this today," or, "We did this really cool thing." And it's like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. That's great." If you do that enough, she's not going to want to tell you all her things that she's excited about. Number 5, it's okay to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. That's a big one. Just keep trying, It's making sure that they know that their best is all you need. And for a perfectionist tiger mom like me, it's also just taking a step back and being like, it doesn't have to be perfect all the time. That's more for me than for her. I'm sorry. That's really important. Parents think that they're parents and they don't need to say sorry to kids. If you made a mistake and if you said something that maybe you were like in a ngudngit state, you gotta say sorry. It's really important for the kids to see you say sorry to your partner. Say, you're fighting or something. Hey, I'm sorry, kiss and make up. For them to see that, then they realize, oh, okay, the rules apply to everybody. Don't be a bully and don't put up with bullies. This is so it's normal, right? In school, you're on the playground. There's going to be kids that push other kids around. She's come back to me a couple times being like, this person is being mean to me. I was like, well, stand up to them. Tell them that this is what you don't like. And if they keep doing it, then maybe tell your teacher. And don't put up with it. But at the same time, you can't be a bully to other people.
And I read on your blog, you said something along the line of, people who are bullies, you actually feel sorry for them because they needed the attention and that's why they acted that way. And I love the way you explain that to your kids.
Yeah, I don't want, because then you're just giving power to them, right? If you're like, oh, that guy's mean. Oh, yeah, he's powerful. He's not. He's really sad because that's the only way he can get attention. So I want to have her see that not everyone that's like aggressive is actually mean. Maybe it takes that extra step and they could like be really sad. And to be forgiving of them. Even you don't have to talk to them. You don't have to hang out with them. But just be like, oh, I don't know. That's just the way I see it. And then when I got bullied a lot from season 4 for Asia's Next, I had no idea there was so much hate out there and people were just so ready to just spew the harshest things. I'm like, oh my God, you guys, it's a TV show. Why are you threatening my family? คือแบบบ้าไปแล้วอ่ะ I'm proud of you. That's every little thing that they try, whether it be small or big, just to let them know that you're proud of them, even though they failed. I'm proud that she tried. I'm proud that Aiden, made the effort to do something. Yeah. Don't ever let someone pressure you into doing something that you don't want to do or is wrong. And this is going to come in handy as they approach teenage years where there's lots of peer pressure and friends are going to be cooler than mom and dad. I can't follow them everywhere, but I can teach them the right thing and the wrong thing. And there's been a couple instances where, Layla's had a friend that's trying to get her to do something and I'm very proud to see her kind of stand her ground and be like, no, I don't feel like doing that. So I was like, all right, cool. And then the last one, don't worry too much about what others think of you. That's a big one as well, especially for girls. We live in an age where you're constantly comparing yourself to other people or thinking about what they think of you. I mean, this is reality. It's even more so now with social media. I'm guilty of it because I take photos. Everyone takes photos of themselves to make them look beautiful. But that's not always the reality, So to have a level head and be like, okay, that is what it is. There's a time and a place for it. And I'm going to do my own thing. You can be quirky. You can be weird. You can be cool. Actually, the weird kids tend to be the ones that are more successful because we're able to just go out and be ourselves, So don't worry about too much about what other people think of you.
If I ask you to change this article to 10 things I tell my son, would it be any different? Would you add or take something away from this list?
Most of it will be the same. I think for my son, I would add be a gentleman. Treat women how you would treat your mama.
That's right.
Be a gentleman. Be your dad because his dad is the kindest, caring, most patient guy. And Aiden's like me, meaning he's kind of crazy and up and down and very headstrong. And so I'm a little bit worried. He's such a go-getter. I just made sure that he's got the basics, the fundamental right from wrong, and that, treat people kindly and with respect, and he'll be fine.
What's the biggest difference between raising a daughter and a son?
I don't know if it applies to other kids. I know the biggest difference between Layla and Aiden are their temperament. Layla is very particular. She's very precise. She's deliberate. So when she wants to tell you a story, she will start from the beginning and go like this. And if you interrupt her, she can't continue. She got to start all over again. Aww. And sometimes it's like, I'm listening and I'm clawing the couch going, oh God, hurry up and speak. But she has her own way of doing things. And I love that. And I don't want to change that. Aiden, on the other hand, will just rush head first into situations. He's, like I said, Layla's very much like Byron, and Aiden's very much like me. He's just like, let's do it. Okay, I don't care. I don't care if I get hurt. I'll, fall off the couch and like, I'm okay. I'm okay. He's like bleeding. I'm like, oh my God, you're not okay. So with Layla, it's almost like, okay, give her the comfort and the space to come into her own. Aiden is give him knee pads and a helmet, and hopefully he doesn't kill himself. So that's the biggest difference.
Okay, I can see that.
One's like, hold on. The other one's like, go, you can do it. Yeah.
Last but not least, let's talk about your charity work. You've told a story about your childhood. Since you were young, your mom had always introduced you to the concept of sharing. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, my first birthday, I don't remember, but I saw pictures of it. She invited all of the Paria orphanage to our house. And back then she was, my parents were very good friends with Father Ray Brennan, who was theผู้ก่อตั้ง So they invited all the kids over, and actually for my first 4 birthdays, I celebrated it with all the kids in the orphanage every year. And it just instilled in me this sense of, okay, you got to give back. It doesn't matter how much or how little you have. If there's an opportunity that you can maybe help make a difference in someone else's life, or even just an afternoon, why not, if it's not going to take so much up from you? So I've been quite fortunate, and I've been able to align myself with different charities depending on the time in my life, right? So I've worked a lot with the Chameleon Center for Disabled Children. I am the ambassador for Fin Free, for no eating shark fin soup. Most recently, I've signed on with Operation Smile Thailand, and we'll be doing some things for them in terms of awareness and fundraising for children born with cleft lip and palate. I have some stuff in the works for, it's called the 7% Project, which is trying to get the number of kids in Thailand, in Bangkok actually, to start wearing helmets. So currently 7% of kids on bikes wear helmets. And actually, road accidents are the number 2 killer of children in Thailand after drowning. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
First killer of children in Thailand is drowning. Second is road accidents. So road accidents is something that, it can really be lessened if the kids wear helmets. But for some reason, parents don't associate wearing helmets with their child's life.
Only 7%.
Only 7%. So we're trying to get that 7% up to 100%. So we're in talks with Save the Children and the Marriott Hotel and things like that to hopefully get just the culture of wearing helmets. To be a norm. I don't even let Layla and Aiden ride a bike without a helmet, a push bike.
A lot of time when I drive, and my husband and I would see people, 3 people on a motorcycle with a child, a tiny child in front with no helmet on.
It's crazy, but I mean, we get it. But for some reason, they don't associate. They will wear a helmet because they're afraid of the police.
Yeah,
and then they'll put it on, drive past the police, and then take it off. It's just like, come on, it's maybe hot, maybe uncomfortable, but it's your life, you know? So that's another thing I'll probably be working on next year. But yeah, stuff like this. There's always things, you know, I can hopefully lend my celebrity to or artistic talents to sometimes. So yeah.
You talked about Fin-Free campaign. For our listeners who haven't heard about it, could you tell them a little bit more about that? Did it happen because you're into diving and your love for the ocean and marine creatures?
Well, probably. I mean, they were probably looking, they want, Wild Aid and Freeland Foundation were looking for someone who was willing and then had some sort of story to tell. And they asked me, I was like, yeah, makes sense. I love seeing sharks when I go diving. It's not scary to me at all. I mean, I know which shark, like in Thailand, you don't have great white, right? You're not going to be, most of them are black tip, sand shark, things like that. But more than that, it's like once you learn about what's happening to the shark population in the world, it's very scary. And it's not just, oh, you know, let's preserve them for just to have them. They will, if you don't have sharks, you're going to ruin the entire ecosystem of the ocean. That means the middle fish that the sharks usually eat are going to get more, which means no little fish for us to eat. Jellyfish are going to go all over the planet. And I mean, yeah, it's not good. But more than that also is it's not healthy. You're going to get mercury poisoning if you eat, and doesn't even taste like anything. It's chicken soup. Anyway, it's just educating people about that and the wastefulness of it all.
And for a lot of people who have no idea how to start doing charity work, what advice can you give them? What if they don't really have the time or the money to do it? How would they get started?
I think, let's say, you know, how much time does it take to post something on Instagram? How much time does it take to share a story? Part of doing charity work is also creating awareness. So you don't have time to volunteer. I don't have time to volunteer, but there could be one day or some project that you could at least get involved in if you wanted to. If you're in school, you know, you have resource and access to all your school friends. Do a school community project. It doesn't have to be big. Every little baht counts, you know, when it goes to some place that is trying to buy milk for the kids or things like that. There's so many. Actually, I might do a blog post about ways to help. I was thinking on that for Christmas. For Christmas, you know, everyone's buying gifts.
Yeah.
This year, I'm not buying gifts for everyone. I'm going to, you know, find something that if it's a gift, There's a place I bought one year. It's called Second Chance, I think, and they use all these old materials to make magnets or bags and things like that. So if you buy from them, you get a gift that you can help, and you're helping the charity. So save your money and try and think about where your money is going to go.
I love that you're raising awareness on doing charity work and stuff for Thai people too, because I mean, I've grown up both in Thailand and in the States, and I've seen the difference. I went to grade school in Thailand and wasn't really aware about volunteering or charity work. But as soon as I moved to the States, my uncles who lived there, they forced my cousins and I to volunteer every Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
We would go to the homeless shelter and, you know, like feed the homeless. Like you said, instead of complaining, you know, first world problem. Oh, I want this and that for Christmas. Why am I not getting this and that for Christmas? I'm like, oh my God, there are like more things that I could do to feel full inside. And are you also doing that with your kids?
They're of an age now where they can understand. And definitely, you know, we do this anyway when, like, for example, Aiden just had a birthday party. He got all these toys. I was like, okay, well, now we have to, you know, move the toys that you don't play with on, you know, and so we'll like go through and he'll pick all the toys that he doesn't want to play with anymore. And then we'll say, okay, we're going to give these to kids that don't have these toys, or, you know, so that's it needs to be age appropriate as well.
Right.
I feel like in Thailand though, because, and I'm not criticizing at all, but the Buddhist way of tambun is also, you know, it goes to temples and things like that. I'm not Buddhist, so when people ask me to do that, I'm like, okay, I would prefer to tamtan. So I want to help. I'm not saying that it's wrong. Everyone has their own belief.
Right.
Do both, you know, but sometimes there's people here that need that as well, you know. So if you are able to maybe share a little bit in terms of the needy as well. It's a different way.
Yay. Oh, that's so good. Our next section is called What's Your Take On? So I'm going to give you 3 topics to choose from.
Okay.
And you're going to voice your opinion on it. The first topic is on the face Thailand. And the second topic is self-driving cars. The third topic is on universal basic income. Which one do you want to choose?
I'll go with self-driving cars.
Okay. So if there was one available, would you drive it?
Oh, I obviously wouldn't be driving it.
Would you use it? Would you utilize it?
I'm a bit... Again, like I said, I'm very hands-on. I'd probably be like trying to grip. Do they even have steering wheels?
I don't know. Or there are buttons?
I would be...
There are steering wheels, right?
I would be freaking out. I'd be like,
Yeah.
go.
You would have your hands next to the
Seriously,
wheel.
it's like, you know when you're a backseat driver? Like,
Yes.
I'm a total backseat driver. I would be in the driver's seat still trying to be like, ah! I probably have to really like take my time to get used to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But how does that work if you're not driving, but other people are driving? How do you control that? Do they have bumpers, like sensors?
Like probably sensors. I would imagine there are like sensors.
Okay, self-driving cars are not going to happen in Thailand for at least another 2 decades. That's my prediction. It ain't going to happen. You have the motorcycle like,
yeah. Seriously, I think self-driving cars that would work in elsewhere. If they come to Thailand, it's like ปราบเซียน
Yeah.
มาเมืองไทยก็คงแบบ like first moment they got onto like the main street.
No.
Motorcycle.
ซาเล้งมาก็คือแบบไปแล้วอะ
จบ
Yeah.
Our next section is called What If? And this is where you're going to get your pageant skills.
Oh my gosh.
Your pageant skills will come in handy in this section. I'm going to give you a jar filled with hypothetical questions, and then you choose one. And we shall discuss it. Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you for the question.
Your question is, if you were allowed to eat only 3 things or dishes for the rest of your life, starting next meal, what would you choose? สมมติให้เลือกกินอาหารได้เพียง3อย่างไปตลอดชีวิตนับจากนี้มื้อหน้าเลยจะเลือกอะไรบ้างคะ
อาหารคือไม่น้ำไม่เกี่ยวใช่ไหม Not water?
No, just like meals.
Okay. Meals?
Or like food in general. Wait, hold on. Let's
Does
see.
it have... Because there's like food and then there's meals.
Okay. Well, it could be or.
Okay.
Things or dishes.
Okay. The first is avocado on toast with Vegemite.
Ooh, that's what...
Anything like avocado on toast.
I love avocado toast.
The second one would be fresh blueberries. And then the third, for the rest of your life, you're going to need some protein. How about salmon? Just like simple, like maybe teriyaki glazed salmon.
Yeah. Oh.
On brown rice.
Oh.
Yay!
So you have everything complete.
Right? You got your antioxidants.
Yeah.
You got your
good fat and
Yeah,
like
good fat.
your carbs, your good
Cool,
carbs.
cool.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that was so much fun today. Thank you so much for being here.
I was like, I don't know what to expect.
Did you like it?
I did.
Yay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. ขอบคุณค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
โอ้ยดี ถ้ารู้ว่าเพื่อนคนไหนรักภาษาอังกฤษชอบฟังภาษาอังกฤษและเรื่องราวชีวิตที่น่าสนใจของเซเลบหลากหลายโบฝากแชร์เอพิโซดนี้ให้เขาฟังด้วยนะคะ
Binge listen to all of our shows and episodes at thestandard.co/podcast. The Standard Podcast เปิดหูเปิดตาเปิดใจเปิดโลก